Hello, and welcome once again to Monica's Manic Misadventures.
Welcome to Bad Lighting City population, me
Us.
and fucking Harvey.
Yeah,
apparently.
bad lighting city because windows are a thing.
And there's no blinds! And if there
No,
were blinds, we
and
put them down, but there's
This
not.
is terrible.
Yeah.
Well, let's stop wallowing in our own self-pity for now and begin the actual episode.
Yeah.
Cool. So, last we left off...
Some fucking shit happened.
Some fucking shit happened indeed. Kai, after spending some time back in the Feywilds, maybe getting to somewhat back together with her uncle and then losing him again, she eventually made it to the sanctuary of the Hunters of the Golden Leaf,
Yes.
where her apparent destiny awaited. Her destiny was named Al, and she was a very angry Eladrin captain that was very brutal in her training ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
After some failed trainings and Kai having a breakdown at noticing that she was incapable of doing anything without being told what to do,
Yeah.
she had a little vision of Corlon, as it tends to happen sometimes.
Yes, sometimes.
And then proceeded to have a vision of Loth, the very nasty drow goddess slash spider demon queen.
That doesn't happen a lot.
That doesn't happen a lot. It's the first time that happened. And
hopefully
her
the last.
hopefully the last. And her best idea was to spit in her face after she threatened to kill her friends, because that's what you do,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Got 8 intelligence.
What proceeded then was a very painful attempt at extracting the curse in her blood, which followed with a reveal. The lieutenant that had been accompanying Al and watching the trainings and had said he was Kai's friend, turned out to be her mother in disguise. And last session was left off after her mother had used a modified animal messenger spell to send Kai's old blink dog pet
Ted.
to the technically blink dog, short for Theodore,
Theodorius.
to the material plane to warn some of her companions about the possible imminent threat of Loth.
Yeah.
Because when Loth rears her ugly head, you warn people about it.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I need to write down my allies, Theodorius Rex.
Theodorius Rex, indeed. After some modifications Kai's character has gone through, she is currently having her Blood Hunter powers extracted from her. And we come back after Kai had gone to bed, after that spending those first 3 hours with her mother.
Yep.
And now, as the sounds of nature awaken her
Mm-hmm.
from her dreamless slumber,
Yep.
what do you wish to do, Monica?
How's my hand feeling in the morning?
A lot better. It's you can sort of like flex your fingers a bit without it hurting.
Okay, but I wouldn't be able to do any extenuous training today.
No, not terribly. No.
No.
You could, but it'd probably do more damage than good.
Yeah, I'm probably, going to, I know my mom's busy and stuff, because she basically runs the camp when I was away
When
and
I was
stuff.
away, and I was currently away.
Liz currently away. So, I'm probably going to not head out of my room. I'm probably just gonna stay put, cause unless like Kai feels like particularly bored.
I mean,
And
does
then,
she?
yeah, I mean, yes, she fucking does. But if she feels any more bored than usual, she'll probably head out during the day and try and talk to some people. Immediately, talking to someone, and then realizing she's not very good at this whole talking business and then promptly leaving. I'm assuming.
So standard awkward.
Yeah, standard Kai awkward.
So yes,
Everyone's busy and they've got jobs to do. I don't really want to bother them.
I mean, when you wake up, you sort of look around the camp. You don't really see that many people as you awaken.
Yeah.
You go down to the large shrine to Titania, and there are a couple people there, including your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother is there, sort of sitting cross-legged, seemingly meditating.
I'm not gonna bother.
Sort of passing nearby.
Yeah, pass by.
She, with her eyes closed. Kai, dear, please, come sit with me.
Okay. I will do that. Sit kind of like cross-legged. Not really sure what to do or what to say. Just, how are you?
A lot more rested. Thanks. Thanks for asking.
Good.
How's your hand feeling, dear?
No, stiff.
You'd assume so.
Yeah.
I really haven't gotten any news from the captain, so we'll only have to wait and see. Until then, what is your plan? So at this point she sort of seems to come out of her meditation trance and look at you.
My plan was to get this out of me as soon as possible and leave to go and help my uncle, but I can't. So, I guess I'm stuck here, so I don't really have a plan.
Well, it's probably the extraction of the curse and in turn the powers that gave you is probably going to put quite some strain on your body, so resting is a priority, certainly.
If you say so. Just take it as teenage cheek. It's not. You know.
I mean, you're a bit past a teenager at this point, yeah.
I mean, I guess, but just take it as general cheek then.
I know. I really did miss this.
But yeah, I don't really have a plan besides getting this out and going to the capital as quickly as possible. I know it's probably a trap, but
it probably is.
yeah, probably.
They are probably expecting you
Probably.
to come in and save him.
Yeah, but I can't just let him die.
I know you don't. I don't want to see your uncle die either. He still is my late husband's brother.
Brother-in-law.
He is my brother-in-law.
Yeah,
my
that's
late
what I said.
husband's brother.
Yes, your brother-in-law.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean,
curious.
unless you and Dad split up, is that what that fight was?
Well,
Or split up. It's kind of a
not
material
exactly.
term.
I wasn't in agreement with him and how he had planned to raise you, but there wasn't much I could do. So it was a weak, point of weakness in my life. I decided to just run. I ran away and ended up here.
So that's a yes then. You and Dad are no longer.
Well,
Well, I mean, you're not anymore, obviously, because
I
you
know.
know Dad's
your father is
dead.
an Aravan.
Yeah.
And I, well, even after everything that happened, I never stopped loving him. He was the man I fell for and the only man I ever was with.
Briefly, excuse me for a moment. Sorry.
You'll notice when you find someone like that.
No. I won't be like icky and squishy like that.
That's what everyone says. That's what I said at your age.
I mean, look at this. I would have flexed, just like, nothing squishy there.
Are you sure about
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
that? So just pokes your cheek.
No!
I can feel some squish there.
No! This is all pure muscle. Pure, unadulterated prey anger and muscle and nothing else. And a little bit of puns now.
Time passes, but you're still that same rambunctious girl, aren't you?
I mean, a little bit. Yeah, I guess. It's been hard to get back here to this place. In here, no, in here.
Honestly, I don't know what the actual effect of that. Honestly, I don't even know what they did to you during the day of the ritual. But whatever that was, it changed something inside of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Well, the only thing we can do now is try to make up for it.
Yeah, I guess. People have been trying to tell me to, just do what I want to do and just live. But that's pretty hard to do when you've spent your entire life listening to people. So I don't really know how to be myself and to live, if that makes sense.
Yes, I won't say I understand it because I've never felt anything like that. But maybe we could start with what you want to do now.
I want to. I don't know what I want to do. What do you want to do?
It's not like this place is a prison. You can leave whenever you want, and you can come back whenever you want.
I'd get lost.
Don't worry, there are wards in place so that people with the blessing of Titania to come in here never get lost in this forest.
Oh.
And there's no danger of encountering any of the usurper's forces. They can't come anywhere near here.
Oh. I might go for a walk then.
Do as you see fit, and I'll be here if you need me.
Okay.
Please don't hesitate to talk to me if you need me.
Okay.
Promise?
Promise.
Good.
Cheers, Mom. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested after this is all over, I think you might want to try and go and find Croy. He only ever listened to you.
Your brother.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he never listened to me, he never listened to Dad, he never listened to Uncle, he only ever listened to you.
We didn't really part on the best of terms when I left.
I mean, I can imagine not. He thought the world of you.
In all honesty, I don't even know where he is.
I mean, he's on a material plane somewhere. If he doesn't want to be found by us, then he won't. But I reckon as soon as you start showing up places, he'll want to be found all of a sudden.
I hope so.
Just if you're interested.
I wouldn't mind going back to being a family after all this is over.
Yeah. It's an idea, certainly. I will see you later, though, Mom. I think I'm gonna go for a walk.
Take care, dear.
Okay, we'll do. And Kai is going to go on a walk just outside the go. She's gonna. I don't know. Maybe go and find that elk again. See if she can find that elk.
Sure. Easy enough. You leave, and the gates just open in front of you and let you out.
Basically, it's just an excuse. Like, if anyone asks where she's going like, oh, I'm gonna go find that elk. But she's using it as an excuse to think over what her mum said. Like, because she never thought of herself coming back and living in the Feywilds. She never thought of that as a possibility. So suddenly someone's coming back and being like, yeah, we could live here as a family again. And she's like, ah!
Look, she never said here.
I mean, yeah, but like...
So Kai's
not used to the idea of going back and living as a family. She struck that.
Leave the sanctuary and you start heading into the forest. Are you actually going to try and look for the elk?
Sure. Why not?
Give me a survival check.
Basically what this is for, I'm not physically going out looking for the elk, but if I should come across the elk, I'd be like, fuck yeah!
Cool.
Because I'm mainly thinking about what my mom said.
Easy enough?
To find the elk.
Yeah, you walk out into the forest and it's a forest.
Yeah.
It's a forest, it's full of life, it's full of green, it's full of little animals. Full of a lot of animals you've never seen before. You sort of look around, you see these tiny rabbits, kind of dark brownish kind of fur. Sort of, you see one of them kind of stops and looks at you, and you see each of them has this tiny little like unicorn horn on their forehead. And, like, it's good. Scutter away. You notice a few wild blink dogs phasing between the trees. And you do see just groups of animals in general. It's just a forest. And you could spend probably hours and hours here, and every sight would be new.
I'm thinking I'm going to go and try and find like a watering hole or something, like a lake or something, and just kind of like sit there and think about stuff.
A watering hole?
Yeah, like a watering hole, like a lake or whatever, you know.
Yeah, that's fine. You start walking around. Eventually just come across this little kind of creek that flows through the forest, not too deep, somewhat wide. Sit there, see on the opposite bank a small group of stags and does just like stop there and drink some water.
Find a rock and sit on it.
Yeah, it's a rock, certainly.
It's certainly a rock. Yeah, I think what Kai's gonna do is gonna take a small rock and just gonna take it in between my hands with the gauntlets on and just try and crush it.
Give me a strength check.
Yeah. Just strength check or athletics?
Just straight strength.
That's an 11.
11. It takes a while, but eventually you hear the rock just crack, and it takes some time, grinding and properly pushing on it. But eventually you sort of like just grind it to gravel, and just slips between your fingers.
Yep. And then I'm gonna take off the gauntlets.
Take them off, and you feel the additional strength they gave you just leave your body.
And I'm gonna take another one about the same size, and I'm gonna do it again.
Give me another strength check.
Yeah. Natural 20.
Natural 20. And it just takes maybe about a minute or so of you pushing before the rock just cracks straight across the middle, and you pummel it into gravel with a single swift just crush.
Ow. Give my wrist a bit of a. And I'm gonna put my gauntlets back on.
Put them back on.
Yeah.
So again, once you took them off, they kind of grew a bit bigger, but now you put them back on, they resized to fit your hand. These black metal gauntlets with the stylized visage of a roaring ogre on each of the arm guards.
What do you want, Kayane? What do you want? I'm just trying to figure out, like, myself, if that makes sense. It's like when you just sit down and you're just trying to figure out, like, who are you? What do you want? What's going on? Try and figure yourself out, because Kai has had very little chance to do that. So she's just going to do that. She's going to be left alone with just her thoughts of herself.
How long you spend there thinking is up to you.
I'm going to spend a very long time there and then walk back.
So you sit there 1, 2, so eventually time kind of just blends into one mass. And by the time you look up, after you've just sort of come out of your own mind, you should look around you and it's dusk.
And I'm no closer to figuring out anything. Cool. I'm a dumbass. Right, I'm gonna head back. Just
enough. You head back. And it takes a couple minutes, but eventually you find the golden gates of the sanctuary, and they open.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna... I'm gonna head down to the training area. Is there anyone training right now?
No, there's no one right now, not in the place where you were training with Al.
Okay. I am going to... Is there any, like, training dummies in there?
Yeah, there's a couple, basic training dummies, like a wooden bunch of planks strapped on a wooden shield.
Okay, I'm gonna bring one over to the center and kind of just put it in the center, and I'm going to do 2 reps of training. I'm going to attempt to try like a more like dex based approach, and try and like with the like feet maneuvers that I've been taught from childhood, and just try and like see like how well that works versus I'm going to try and do a couple of reps of just trying to kick it out of the center, just like seeing how far I can get with like my strength and stuff.
Sure. First of all, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving. Oh, natural 1. Never fucking mind. I'm asleep.
1. You try the first rep, but between the healing of the stab on your palm and you're still kind of not quite there, dislocated wrist, you after just the first rep, you're a lot more tired and worn out than you'd expected to be. You'll get the feeling that if you keep this up, you might actually worsen the wounds.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the dummy and dragging it back and leaving it. Just dragging it back and pushing it towards the rest of them and just walking out. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure clearly that they're all stacked up right, of course. I'm not just throwing it in there and being a dick.
Yes, you just very carefully put the dummy down, making sure it's perfectly in line. So you sort of you return to the surface, to the main area of the keep. Sort of pass again by the shrine to Titania, and your mother is sort of still there, still cross-legged, kind of seemingly meditating.
I'm going to... It was like... I've just been having my food like handed to me in the morning, right?
Yeah, no, this morning was again, there was a breakfast
so
tray.
I've already eaten.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna head in and sit next to my mom and just gonna be like,
sit there. She's still once again this meditation pose. Both her hands are resting on top of each other in her lap, eyes closed. Did you find anything?
No. 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 What are you thinking about?
Nothing much. Trying to remember your father. Asking Lady of Summer for guidance.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That must have been nice. Did you have a nice day?
It's a bit of a bittersweet feeling now.
Yeah.
The early years with your father were some of the best of my life, but they come, of course, accompanied with the feeling of me not ever seeing him again.
Oh, you will. We all will.
Well, who knows? Nobody really ever remembers their time in Athenborough.
Yeah.
So you still haven't figured out what you want to do?
I mean, I went into the forest and I crushed some stones with my bare hands. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed doing that.
You know, your father used to do that sometimes.
What?
Yeah, whenever he was angry or he was in some kind of conundrum, he'd go out into the forest and throw things, punch things, crush things with his bare hands. He thought I didn't know, but I always followed him. Well, maybe something could help. When you were little, I don't know if you remember, you always used to tell me all of these great plans you had for the future. You'd call me over and have me sit down on one of the cushions or one of the sofas of the house and just lie down with your head in my lap and I'd stroke your hair. You'd tell me all about the fun times you had that day and how much of a great warrior you wanted to be like your father and protect the weak and defend the country. So maybe that could help. Sort of like she changes her position, so she's got her, kind of like the mermaid sit position.
Yeah.
Kind of like her legs together, but also kind of sitting on her backside. And she turns to you, just pat her lap.
Sure. I'm gonna put my head down.
Yeah.
Just kind of
And
awkward because I haven't done this in a very long
she just sort
time.
of like slowly starts caressing your hair and at the side of your head, and it's true. This does bring back some familiar feelings.
Yeah. So today like I said, I went into the forest and I crushed some rocks and I saw like a rabbit with a horn on its head and it was.
Oh yeah, the Almirage. They tend to come out a lot this time of year.
I saw some.
Apparently, seeing one is a sign of good luck.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I saw like some blink dogs and like a pack of blink dogs and.
There's quite a few wild pets around this area.
Yeah. And I went to like a stream, and then I saw some stags and some deer, and I crushed some rocks in my bare hands, and I thought about myself, and I tried to figure out what I wanted, and I came to no conclusions, and then I came back here and tried to do some reps with the training dummies, and I feel like shit.
Yeah, you should not have done that.
Probably not.
Not while your wounds were healing.
Probably not. I don't like being stuck and not being able to do anything.
You were always a bit too overeager for your own good.
A little bit. And I guess it's weird because I can't. When I killed Leanna, I didn't think I'd ever come back to the Feywilds. Ever. And so that kind of destroyed any hope I had for a future. Any hope I had of coming back here, of having a family, of anything like that. So it's hard to think about me being here now. It's hard to think about what I want to do here, because the answer is besides saving my clan and saving my uncle and stopping the king. I don't want to do anything here. I want to go to the material plane and go to Lamplight and see that bakery lady that used to bake pies that Alfred told me about, and I want to go with Ugg and help him with his tribe shenanigans. I want to go to Varys's house and see his wife and his kid. I want to help Kieris out with her spy twins shenanigans. But everything I want to do is helping others, and I don't want to do anything on the material plane besides spending time with them and not going back to the Underdark ever.
Well, I don't see what the problem of that is. Those are things you want to do, aren't they?
I guess. I don't know if I want to do them or if I'm programmed to want to do them because they're people of authority and they need help.
I mean,
And they asked me really nicely. I mean, Alfred's brother is.
But is Alfred a figure of authority?
He could be.
You're not answering the question, dear. Is he?
Not that I know of.
Is Kieris a figure of power that you know of?
She's got a lot of money.
That doesn't mean anything.
No.
Yet you want to help them. You want to spend time with them.
Yeah.
It's normal for you to think that because of how your father and your uncle raised you, you're hardwired to simply want to depend on others for everything, for life, for meaning, but none of those things depend on them. If you wanted to, you could go to Lamplight, you called it, didn't you? Without Alfred. You still want to go there, don't you?
I mean, yeah, but I want to go there to try the pies he told me about so I can tell him they're the best in the entire world.
But you could do that while he's somewhere else and then you both meet somewhere else. Couldn't you?
I mean, yeah.
Wanting to do something with someone isn't the same as wanting to do something for someone. They are quite different things, and you must not get them confused.
Okay.
For example, I've read reports on how you behave with him and what he has revealed to you, and forgive our excessive curiosity, but we have to make sure everything was fine. If, let's say this, if Ugg had never come into your life, yet you heard about this injustice that occurred with his tribe, would you have wanted to go and help? Innocent people suffering at the hands of the wrong leaders?
Yeah. I would have wanted to go help.
The fact that he was the messenger for such an information and that he plays a part in that story doesn't mean you're doing it for him, or you depend on him for meaning. You have meaning.
But I didn't want to help people in the Underdark.
Well,
I didn't care about the people in Gracklestick. I didn't care about any of the drow, but except that one drow. Yeah.
well, there's a difference between... It's a bit of a moral conundrum. They are, the people in the Underdark, just as they are in the Feydark, are not good people. They are absolutely not good people. And sometimes people don't deserve compassion. You must always be careful with who you give your aid to. Some people will use you. There's no problem with not feeling bad about traitors and slavers.
I mean, I was a right dick to Eldith. Because she was weak. And people liked her anyway. And I was strong. And nobody liked me.
Well, I feel that's a bit of an overstatement.
Well, people liked me enough because I was strong and I could hit things hard, and they didn't want me to hit them hard. They didn't like me, they were afraid of me at the start. They don't know.
100 years later, and you're just as dense as when you were barely a young kid. None of your friends liked you because of that, Kai. They liked you, for the richness you brought to their lives. You would notice that if you tried getting your mind out of the little hallway you've put it in. If you actually sat down and properly talked to them and give it some true deep thought. I understand it's difficult. I'm not telling you to do it immediately. Gods know it took me quite some time to come to terms with what I had done. Abandoned my family, left my husband, my only daughter. But wallowing in the past and in who you used to be has never helped anyone. Looking forward and trying to always strive for a new, better you that feels more, thinks more, relates more. That's what you should do. But constantly thinking that people simply like you because of your strength is a toxic mentality, to say the least. What do you think I like? I haven't seen you in almost 100 years.
Right now I think it's because my hair is really soft and it's kind of like a sheep. So it's easy to pet.
It could use a bit more care.
Yeah, it's supposed to be wavy, but right now it's gone kind of...
Don't worry.
I haven't brushed it in a very long time.
I've noticed, despite you so loving brushing it from you back then.
There's a very lack of brushes in the Underdark. Why do you think I got it cut?
Make do with what you have. Let's answer the question, dear.
Do you want the correct answer or the answer I'm thinking of?
The answer you're thinking of course.
Oh, it's because you're my mother and you have to. You're programmed to because we're of the same blood.
Well, that isn't entirely a lie. Had I not birthed you from my very blood, I probably wouldn't feel as much as I feel now. But, well, yes, you are my blood, kin, and I will love you no matter what because of that. Had you showed up here, arrogant, incapable of changing, and simply looking to obtain more power and vengeance, I probably wouldn't have revealed myself. I revealed myself because I know you've changed. I know you've grown. From the time you left, or rather from the time I left you, the time you left, and now that you've returned, you are a massively different person. And I know, because I've seen that growth. Maybe you haven't, but you have grown, you've changed. And you shouldn't fear such change. You should embrace it, and you should always move forward.
I feel like I should be changing faster.
There is no set speed for change. Everyone has to change at their own pace.
Coral in the background with a giant clock tapping it like this.
Ah, my god.
Yeah.
There's no set speed. Every mind and every soul are different. Everyone works at different paces. Maybe your friends changed faster than you did, but that doesn't mean anything.
I frustrated them, I know I did. Because I can't think. 'Cause I don't know, it's hard when you've been taught to think a certain way and you've been taught to be a certain way. Everything you do just kind of fits into place of that mold, if that makes sense. So everything they were using to prove that I was something else, I was then using to prove that I was the same. So I know I frustrated them, but it's hard to...
I'm not saying it's not. But sometimes you simply have to do your best to break out of that mentality. Of course, can't be expected to do it the first time you try. Nobody would. Somebody did, they expected wrong. But over time, you will change. You'll be exposed to new things, and old things will fade away. It's only been 2 months, Kayani.
And it's been 2 years for everyone else.
Time passes for us differently than it did for you. It's been 2 months for you. Forget about everyone else. 2 months of stressful times don't make for a very good catalyst.
I guess.
And of course, right now isn't the best moment either. You have been getting entangled in this whole war, but maybe something good will come from it. Who knows? All I can tell you is that eventually something will click, and everything will seem easy. But you simply have to wait for it and strive forward as best you can.
Okay. By the way, do you like my tattoos? And I raise up my arm to try and show it.
Oh, you're quite good.
No, that's very a mum kind of thing.
Somewhat. She sort of like just grabs your hand and just looks at them. Remind me, are these the tattoos you had made or you made yourself? Or they're the ones that she just showed up?
These are the ones that... I'd say she did it herself. I would say she 100.
Yeah.
It's blue fire, but she did it herself.
Yeah.
It's decent.
No, just
it's decent. The tattooing is mediocre. The art is fine.
It's good. I would have done a better job though.
Yeah, but you weren't here, so I had to improvise.
I know. Do you want me to give it a little touch up?
Yes, please. While I'm here. Oh, also, I have a couple of ideas, for some more ones, because I've seen some really cool stuff, and, she, like, sits up. Do you have, like, a sketchbook? I haven't really had one in the Underdark.
Well, how about... And she sort of, like, gives your head a little final pat, and she stands up. I can't imagine a better bonding time than tattooing my own daughter.
Yay!
And you sort of start walking towards her room. How would you like that I taught you how to do it properly?
Yes, please. Because it's kind of mediocre. And I like show the one that like there's like a snake that wraps around her foot, and she like tries to like hop and like show the foot.
It's fine.
Like, yeah, because this
Wait
one like
until
was
we get
really
to the
quite
room.
hard, because like I kind of had to tattoo it myself, and then also like swivel it around, so like around here it like looks like yeah.
It's fine. I understand. There's no need to explain it. I'll give you a full look over when we get to my room.
Okay. That sounds good.
I'll teach you how to do it properly for yourself.
I've been meaning to get them like a touch up anyway. Cause again, like there's one on my back that's a bit shit, and I had to get like and do it in the mirror, and it's a bit of a nightmare.
Don't worry, everything can be fixed with enough patience.
Yay!
sort of just guides you into a room. It's pretty much a bigger, slightly more decorated version of the room you were given. It obviously has a lot more, personal stuff kind of decorating the walls. You see a couple trophies, some little like tapestries, a couple ripped flags, and she just sort of like gestures to the bed.
Okay, I'm gonna like lie down it with the perfect like position to or like sit down on it, or either.
Yeah, and she just sort of like starts bringing out this little like equipment, which to be sort of a tattooer's kit, like with a little needle with the string and little balls of ink.
Yep.
And she just sort of like starts.
Hammer.
No, she just sort of like gives you a quick look over, brings out a little sketch pad and sketch out. Basically, it sort of looks like the flames, but the colors in them are a lot more defined, but at the same time they mix together a lot better, and it has a bit better of an outline. Sort of, it's basically just a tattoo with an improvement.
Yeah, like with more like white outlines. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And it's sort of like, perfect. Sits it down and just starts working.
Yep.
And it's just, you feel the.
Listen, she's a girl that tattooed herself.
The usual
she's
prick.
Fine.
You feel the usual prick of tattooing, but you're used to it at this point.
Yeah.
So, where exactly did you get these?
I did it myself.
You're answering the question.
Went into town, and a very nice person decided to go for lunch and said, "Hey, why don't you just use them as you like? You don't have to worry about paying me for them. Just come in whenever you like and use them." And then I did.
Sounds like a good person.
If you think she's lying, which, spoiler alert, she fucking is.
No, it's her mother. Why would she think she was lying?
I mean, because it's mum's natural insight. Natural insight.
Roll with it.
Your child is lying all the time.
Roll with it.
Fine.
And
Yeah.
where exactly did you get this equipment?
He was in his shop. He was just kind of like, it's like, "Hey, I'm a tattoo artist. Here's my shop. Come on in. Use all my equipment."
They aren't exactly common. Not many people have mastered this art enough to call themselves tattoo artists.
Yeah.
At least not from what I've heard.
Yeah. I mean, he was more like a general artisan, and he had a load of different tools, and so I asked him specifically if he did tattoo stuff,
So
and he was
kind of a
like,
jack
"Not
of all
really."
trades.
Yeah. He had like a loom and stuff. And
Well, must have been missed in one of the reports, because for all I know, didn't you fall straight into the Underdark once you left the Feywild?
yeah, no, this was before I left the Feywilds.
Oh, where was it?
Yeah, it was like I showed them all off to like Leanna, like basically
This is your stops. Kai, you're dodging the question.
this was well, this one she taps like this one. This one was for my 100. I got this for my 100 as a birthday present from me to me. Because I thought it looked cool. I saw it in one of Leanna's books. And then I saw one of the wizards do it downtown. And I thought it was a really cool colour. So I did it. Everyone else, like every other of these ones, have just been like pictures that I saw in Leanna's textbooks. So just probably from I was 100 till I was about 105. Just gave myself tattoos whenever I felt like it. Does that answer the question or no?
Well, to a certain extent, you're still not telling me where you got it from.
Yeah. Like I said, I just went into I asked that guy, "Hey, I'm looking for a tattoo. Do you have like, you good at tattooing?" He was like, "I don't really use it, but we've got a tattooer's kit and you can use it whenever you like, so I'm going out for lunch."
Kai, you do realize I grew up in the same city as you.
A dude had a tattooer's kit and I stole it.
There we go.
Yeah. He did go out for lunch, he just didn't see me. And I stole it.
Well, I can't condone that kind of behavior. You're an adult, and I don't have any right to scold you anymore. But, all in all, good choice. If you're going to steal something, at least make it something useful and fun.
Yeah,
It keeps doing the little...
I just...
See, every, 5 little taps, he does one that's especially harsh, and you feel the brick.
Yep. The only issue is I left it in my room back home. That's where I left my proper sword as well. And I tapped the claymore because I bring it fucking everywhere. This was an improvised job. I left mine at home, so.
I tried going back home for some of your things, but your father was always around. And right now, it's not exactly the easiest place to get into.
Yeah, no. I wanted to ask about my sword when I had Uncle around, but I never got around to it. We're always busy, but rebellion planning and stuff like that. So.
Then sort of the next half an hour or so goes by with a bit of idle chit chat.
Yeah.
So tell me about this Liana. That is one little part of your life. I'm sorry I missed. You don't have to if you don't want to.
What we.
Just keep going.
Well, we Berets, we take care of the royal family and stuff, and I was kind of just assigned her. She was great and liked me and was really pretty. Fucking. And
I remember the princess.
Yeah.
Such a free spirit.
Yeah. She used to take me to the library and show me all these material playing books. She was a massive nerd, and it was great. And she was really smart, and I was really not. So that was fun. Watch the nerve, watch it. I've struck it before, and it's shit. Sorry. So. She used to go into town and stuff and bring me along, and that was good. And it was a perfect princess that liked me for some reason, and I never quite understood that. Or at least, not liked me, but enjoyed my company enough not to be like the other princesses and be like, it's a brain.
Oh, I mean, have you met any other princesses in your life?
I mean, I passed by some of them, and they were just like, it's a brain, stinky girl, she plays in the mud. And then Liana would be like, oh yes, mud, quite, and then would jump in with me. So.
Yeah, so
that's a figure of speech she never
wants. It was
once,
absolutely not a like.
No.
So
No, totally not.
You kind of notice she just rolls her eyes.
No, she didn't. She had princes and stuff from other kingdoms that would come suiting and stuff. No, I wasn't even in her radar.
Give yourself a little more credit. If anything, I want my daughter to be somewhat confident in that.
Come on, it's not like, I'm no blind. I can see people are attractive. but I don't know what anyone would possibly see in me, especially not a princess, right? Okay, so you say I've got a corridor vision. If anything, that's two people in a corridor and the corridor lights are turned off and they're two separate corridors and two separate buildings and they're both blindfolded. Yeah, no, we were not even on each other's planet. So, yeah. Yeah, but, see, you know who would actually have been really good for her if they'd met? Which I wish they could have. I wish she would have left before. Her and Alfred would have been fucking amazing. Because he's like a storybook prince. She's like a storybook princess. And then they could find a white horse and gallop off into lamplight sunset together. That'd be great. Good for them.
Such an interesting fantasy, wouldn't it be?
I mean, well, she's dead, but
it really is a shame.
Yeah, they would have been really good.
Oh, I was talking about her having passed on, but possibly that could have been a thought in her mind. Though I feel she paid a bit more attention to you. She'd have paid a bit more attention to you than him.
Well, I mean, we've been friends for a very long time, so, or at least we were. So, of course, she would have spent more attention to me, 'cause, you know, we're friends. But she was good with people. She would have flocked to him like a moth to a flame, and I would have been an afterthought at best. I have no illusions of grandeur, Mom. Mom, I've got none.
Maybe having some wouldn't be bad. The illusions of grandeur is what keep most people going.
No, thinking of the what ifs, it ruins you. So,
some people do say that.
Yeah. Which makes it so weird. So weird. I lost her. Well, I killed her. I killed her just enough time.
It wasn't your fault, and you know that.
It felt like it was my fault.
It must have, but it wasn't, and you know it. And you know why it isn't your fault.
Anyway, it feels surreal to have her die and then meet someone that would have been perfect for her. And then I feel guilty that
About
I
what?
met him and she didn't. But I feel bad because he would have loved her.
We really do think highly of him, don't you? Don't mean it that way, dear.
Oh, well, you certainly laugh like you mean it that way, ma'am.
Well, people always told me that I have a bit of an interesting laughter.
Oh yeah, it sounds like you fucking like him.
Oh, do you?
I didn't say that.
I mean, I didn't say it.
I don't know. He's certainly attractive. I mean, a lot of the group is attractive. I mean, Ugg and Guroth are attractive. His brother's attractive. He's attractive. They're all fucking attractive. Vernon's a little bit in that weird way, you know? And if Kieris hadn't, it wasn't such a little sister about it, she'd also maybe be attractive. I don't fucking know. Alizaeus has also got that weird nerd thing going on. I don't know.
Well, he's the only one you keep constantly talking about.
I mean, I was talking about Ugg earlier.
Not in that sense, though. It's the one you constantly keep mentioning for others. About how good of a match they'd be.
Yeah, because, like, her and Guroth would be fucking atrocious. They'd be fucking shit. I think mainly because, me and him have quite a similar past, and so her and him would just be hilarious because they wouldn't get along at all.
Well, who's to say they wouldn't?
Oh, I know Guroth. As soon as he and then she was away to go snap that kid's neck, and then she realized she's with her mum. So she's like, as soon as he showed up, yeah, no, they wouldn't get along. They're not compatible, or well, no, they're certainly not now, because she's dead. But
Ignore that fact. There's no need to wallow in the sadness of the past.
well, it's hard not to when I'm here.
I see why you'd say that.
It's like everything I see, everything I hear, reminds me of a time when I was with her.
Huh. I think that's done. She like looks at most of the tattoo, and she's just basically highlighted all of the
Yes.
colors and gave it a little more depth. Now it looks like actual flames instead of
Nice.
just a drawing of flames.
Nice. I wanted to try that, but it was my first one. Thank you.
Oh no, don't worry. Now, how about we look at that leg one?
Okay, yeah. Which one? I've got one on my thigh and I've got one on my foot.
Whichever you want.
The foot one's fucking atrocious, and I pull it up.
Yeah.
It's the snake that coils around the bottom of her
So again,
calf and
she
onto her foot.
sort of.
See,
quickly
look at the back of that. That's a fucking mess.
She quickly sketches it, and it kind of comes out to be something along the lines of just the snake, but a lot more defined and detailed. That just the head is sinking its fangs into your leg.
Oh, that's so much cooler. That's really cool. I love that.
It'll take a bit longer, but
Oh yeah, that's fine. I don't mind.
lie down then.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably gonna be a lot better if you to work with if you lie down.
Yep, I do that.
She sort of starts to work. It's the green ink and starts pricking it.
The tail's bad on that one because it was on the bone, and that's always worse.
I know.
Yeah.
So, I think I know the answer to this, but why do you carry around your sword
What, Matt?
constantly? The one on your back?
Um,
And
just in
once
case.
again, I think I already know the answer.
Just in case something happens.
No, that's the same excuse your father gave me constantly. He always carried around that sword. For almost 200 years before your brother was born. Constantly carried the sword around. Of course, a couple times it was useful. But I feel most of the times it was a hindrance, not only to everything, but especially to him. It felt like he had a constant weight on his shoulders. He always had to have something there to keep that weight literal and forget about the figurative version of it.
Yeah, I guess. I suppose for me it's just I'd hate myself if I chose not to bring it and something happened. If I chose to leave it behind and this place was attacked.
I mean, what are the chances of that?
Considering I was being followed pretty high. I wasn't being followed, but they knew I was in that city.
Well, like I told you, there are plenty of wards in place to stop that from happening.
Yeah, I guess.
I feel constantly carrying that with you isn't helping a lot of your problem.
I guess.
Maybe you should try not having it with you for a day. And if it doesn't work, you can put it right back.
I didn't have it on me when we had like a party in Blindenstone, and
Oh, that would have just been rude.
yeah, I didn't have it on me then. Had it in the bag of holding, and
You didn't have it on you, but you had it near you.
yeah, but but like I didn't have it on me, and it felt like I was missing a limb. It felt wrong. Nothing felt right, and I felt comfortable enough, but I didn't feel right. I felt on edge.
Well, that's what tends to happen when you wear something constantly for such a long time. It becomes a part of you, and it's hard to let it go. But when you do, trust me, you'll find that everything feels somewhat lighter.
When I didn't have a heavy one and I tapped the claymore. When I didn't have a heavy one on my back, when I just had my rapier, it felt wrong. It felt weak. It felt pathetic. It just felt wrong.
Well, that was quite a bit of time ago. So, why don't you give the no weapons an attempt? Not for you, for me.
I'll
Right.
give it a try.
Thank you.
But if I don't like it, I'm going back to it tomorrow.
Well, that is perfectly fine.
I mean, not tomorrow, because I'm going to try the no weapon thing tomorrow, but the day after that. If I don't like it, I'm going straight back to it.
It's fine, as long as you give it a try.
Yeah, we'll do. So, how do you get the sketch, like, onto the calf? Like, you know, like, with the paper?
Oh,
like, is there a technique to it? Because mine's usually smudge.
I mostly just do it from memory. She's been doing it from memory. She just had the sketch next to her and just kind of goes into the tattoo. But of course, that is a skill that takes some time to pick up.
Yeah.
So when I started, I used a special kind of paper and ink your father got for me.
Where'd you get it?
A place that is no longer around, but I'm sure that if you ask around the material plane, someone will have it.
Oh, okay.
This really was my devotion before I met your father.
Yeah, which is weird because, like, you don't have an awful lot of you don't have very many, and Dad doesn't have any, or didn't have any, which is weird.
Well, don't have any that you've seen. Kai, please, be mature.
Did you tattoo my dad's ass?
Yes, but that isn't what I was talking about.
What are we talking about?
I meant that I have tattoos you haven't seen.
That's worse!
How is it worse?
Because you're my mum,
And
and you are great and soft and not impure in the slightest.
why is having a tattoo an impurity?
See? No, it's where you have it. Did you and Dad have matching arse tattoos?
We have matching tattoos, but not there.
Oh,
We have matching tattoos on our shoulders.
that's sweet.
How do you remember that neither your father or your mother ever showed you. I mean, your father, the most skin he ever showed was like, his face and his sort of lower arms.
I know, but still, it's like Kai's thought immediately went to
Ass
my
tattoos.
parents have ass tattoos. Like,
I was already past my first century when I met your father. And it was 200 years after that when we had Koroi. I've had quite a bit of time in my life to do things others might consider unsightly, but I did anyway. Do you know why?
because you wanted to.
Exactly.
Wow, okay. Can I bully Kroy with this later if I ever find him again?
With what?
With the fact that you and Dad have ass tattoos?
Sure.
Yeah.
If you manage to convince him.
Oh, he
then-
won't fucking believe me.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
He's a bit smarter than that in that sense.
I mean, smarter. It's not a lie. As long as I can plant that seed of doubt in his head, that's all that matters.
You two always had that little thing between you, didn't you?
He fucking bullied me with a hag arm. Yes. Yes, we did.
Oh yes, me and your father had matching tattoos. And yes,
Yeah.
I once tattooed something on his ass. I'm not going to tell you what it was though. Figure
Was
that out
it,
yourself.
this belongs to me?
No, that one was in a different place.
You just
So kind of that.
grabs
thing,
a
is it?
pillow and just.
Oh, Kai. Roll up Dodsia, please.
Yeah, but even adults don't want to hear about their parents doing that. Would you want to
Sure.
hear about your mum and dad tattooing dicks on each other's dicks?
A bit excessive, but I'll take it.
Would you want to hear about it?
And where do you think I got my skill? Your grandparents died a bit before I met your father. And all of my skill I got from my mother. It's actually been quite a long-standing tradition
Ah,
in our family.
oh, that's good. Want to talk to me about family tradition rather than the other direction this conversation was going? Can we change it now, please? Mom.
Sure.
Yay! Thank Christ.
But yes, your grandmother and my grandmother before that. All great tattoo artists.
Oh.
They were some of the first to ever bring the art of magical tattooing from the material world.
Oh, magical ones.
Hey, yes, I actually have one of those myself.
Oh, cool.
Got it quite recently, and she sort of like pulls back her sleeve and reveals what seems to be some sort of like tattoo of a key here. It's this tattoo enhances my dexterity with my fingers and my skills.
Dad would have liked that.
Yes, he probably would, actually. I'm not going to continue. Kai, please.
just
You brought that up, it's all on you. I have no fault there.
yeah, no. Can you do one for me? Or can you teach me how to do them?
Well, I myself haven't quite reached that level of skill yet. Certain things happened and your grandmother couldn't teach me how to do it properly before she passed away.
Is that what you got it
I've
from?
always... No, it's a different master I met. About a couple of years ago, I went on a trip to the material plane
Oh.
with a captain. Met I believe the common name they give in the material plane are turtles. And he gave me this. Apparently they're quite expensive to make and require a certain level of skill and magical prowess.
Oh.
Involving you ground dust of multiple gems into the ink.
Oh.
But I myself didn't quite reach that level of skill. Maybe someday after all this is over, I'll go back and find him again.
Maybe. I'd quite like one. Maybe if I had the money for it. I don't think I currently do. Yeah, I don't think I do currently.
Well, after all this is done, technically you will be the last inheritor of the Brave Fortune.
But we don't have an awful lot of money, do we?
Well, appearances have to be kept up, and the job of royal guard isn't exactly cheap.
I guess.
Your father never showed you the treasury, did he?
I mean, no, we were taught not to care about that kind of stuff.
That is good. You should not care about monetary compensation for protecting others. To a certain extent.
Yeah.
Money is still required to live in most places. So, once all of this is over, maybe give it a little look.
If it's still around.
Oh, it is. Your father is the only person who knew the combination.
Oh, well, that's fucking great. Because he probably died with it.
Possibly, but you two are more alike than you want to believe, so you'll figure it out.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't know, he never told me.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Your father always was the blunt kind, but I feel not even he would do something so stupid.
I mean, it's so stupid that no one would ever play as their combination, and therefore no one would guess it. It is foolproof.
That is a good thought in theory, but everyone thinks of that.
Oh yeah, they do. I know,
That
that's
is
the
literally
first
the
one that
first thing
everyone
everyone
goes,
tries.
I know.
But your father, well, he was a bit blunt, he was no fool.
I know.
He knew what was going on, so he probably hid something in case everything went awry. It really is a shame.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll find someone like him again.
You won't.
Thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah, sorry, but you won't.
It's okay. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, no, there's no one like him in this entire world.
And sometimes, when I was with him, I thought, thank God for that. Absolute meathead he could be sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know who in the world could be quite as stupid as him.
He just gives you this.
Yeah, no, it's just.
You really did take everything from him.
I didn't steal anything from my dad.
Exactly. But all in all, he was a great man, despite some foolhardiness and a bit of stubbornness added in the mix. He was one of the best men I've ever met, probably one of the best I'll ever meet. But you shouldn't keep yourself locked in the past, and I shouldn't do so either. I'm assuming at some point in my now shortening life, I will find someone else. God knows the captain has made quite a few advances.
Oh, no, please don't.
Oh, absolutely not. She's not my
Thank
type.
Christ. That would be my nightmare scenario.
How so?
Because I don't want her to be my stepmom.
No, I don't think it'd ever get to that point. Not for her, anyway. She seems to be a bit more of a she'll go wherever the winds take me kind of person. Never was one much for settling.
Here's a question, Harvey.
Yeah,
did I see any rings on the captain's finger?
Give me a history check.
Oh, that's a 4.
4.
Don't
Can't
know.
remember. She might have been wearing gloves. She might have not. You can't remember.
Who knows? She might already be married somewhere with stepkids.
Possibly. She doesn't really speak much about her time in the material plane. Sometimes she does. She tells me about this little pocket of income she has. Apparently she owns a tavern. At least
She doesn't seem like the type that would be good at that kind of thing.
I know, it's strange. Yet, every now and again, she'll travel to the material plane and come back with a decently hefty sack of coin that will very much expand the arcs of the sanctuary.
Handy.
You know, it's strange. Sometimes people have hidden facets you don't know about.
Maybe so. People are interesting.
People are extremely interesting. And you should never not give someone a chance.
Yeah, no, I usually give people a chance. Did I tell you about when Linlith tried to use, I think it was a zone of truth on me? Or no, I don't think it was. It was some kind of magic to get me to talk about things I didn't want to talk about.
Doesn't seem fair.
I mean, few things in this world are, but I passed it anyway. And everyone got really, really angry. But I didn't, because I knew we were all kind of assholes when we first met each other, and she just met us. So it was her perfect. She was perfectly in her right to also be an. I don't think it would be right for us to extend each other the courtesy of being an asshole for the first month, and then not then extend that courtesy to her. Cause she just met us. She didn't know anything about us, and she thought I was lying.
Possibly.
But you know, she just met me. Everyone.
I mean, were you lying?
No, I never lie. Except when I lied to you. I never lie about important stuff, cause I don't like liars. So I only lied to you because it wasn't that important, and I didn't want you to yell at me for stealing.
Oh, Kai, you're an adult now. I have no right to yell at you.
Yeah.
Of course, I can judge you as a fellow adult.
Please don't judge me.
I can scorn you somewhat.
Please don't.
But I am your mother, and I probably won't.
Okay.
Not to say I couldn't.
I know you could. I am very well aware. But yeah, so like it took everyone a while to get over. But she tried to do that to me.
Well, it isn't exactly the most trustworthy path to take. Using magic to influence the mood of others isn't a good path in life.
Alfred and Gudoth were really pissed off. Like, really pissed. I don't think I've ever seen them that angry.
They really do seem like a protective kind.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd be that protective of me, if I'm honest.
I should thank them if I ever get the chance.
Yeah.
For protecting my little girl.
I'll be honest, I'd rather you didn't use that word in front of them because, you know, I'm Kyan, well, no, I'm Kai, or I'm Key, and I'm protector of the weak and all around good soldier and stuff like that, and I'd rather not. This is my squishy little girl. Thank you for protecting her. I'd rather you not embarrass me in front of my friends, Mum.
Well, as a mother, that is kind of my job. If you don't want me to, I won't. I won't lie either. Since you absolutely don't like liars. Do you?
I don't like liars.
Then I can't lie.
You are just like Croy sometimes. It is scary.
Surprisingly enough, he took more after me than he did after your father.
Oh, there's no surprise there. It surprised no one.
It's normally people say daughters take after mothers, and sons take after fathers. But of course, someone flipped the switch between you two.
I mean, also, me and Karoy have always been like contrarians. So we're like,
I
Nope.
wouldn't say contrarians, more like complementary. You both had opposing facets that kind of bounced off each other.
yeah, Karoy would say in the worst ways, and then so would Dad, and then so would Uncle, and then so would the King, and then so would all of the other royal guards, and then so would all of the houses of Bray, and then so would all of the city, and so all of Edinburgh, bar you.
And
Maybe
I
bar.
am your mother, and as such,
Nothing else
and
matters.
nothing else
Nothing
matters.
else matters.
I birthed the both of you. I know you both better than you. But I haven't seen him for quite a while, so maybe he's changed a bit. Who
Neither have
knows?
I, to
But
be
when I
honest.
last saw him, he still had that little mischievous glint in his eye, always looking for trouble.
I don't think he's ever gonna leave that.
Well, all in all, I know everything isn't perfect, but it will be eventually, and maybe someday we can come back and live as a family. It doesn't even have to be here. For all as long as I'm with you and with him, I don't care where we are. So like just like silently keeps doing your tattoo.
After everything's done, I don't know what I want to do. No. I know I said, like, those things to you, and I do want to do those things eventually. But in the faraway future, I don't know what I want to do. The idea of being with you and Karoy is nice and all, but I doubt he'll want to live near me ever again. It's not that we ended on, that we left, well, that he left on bad terms with me, but I didn't force any bad terms. He wanted there to be bad terms. And I think that's what he kind of did with you too.
Maybe leaving wasn't the best idea after all for me. I should have been there for the both of you.
It wasn't your fault. You had to do what was right
Can
for
you
you.
really say that sincerely?
Yeah, it wasn't your fault.
It wasn't my fault that I chose to leave.
Yeah, no. You had to do what was right for you.
Sometimes what is right for you and what is right aren't exactly the same thing.
But,
I was and still am the mother of both of you. Sometimes parents must put away their own personal grudges.
I think regardless, Karoy would have left, regardless of if you'd stayed or not.
Maybe, but he would have left on better terms.
I think it makes it easier for him to leave places or to have people leave him if he does it on bad terms, because then he has something to blame.
That is true, but it doesn't exactly help.
That's the motto of our family.
So,
It's true, but not necessarily healthy.
if I ever see him again, I'll give him a little scolding and let's see what that takes us.
Whack on the back of the head. Like, if we get to the point where we've all whacked him on the back of the head enough times that he starts to get Uncle's bald patch.
Ah, yes.
I wonder if I'm taller than him now.
You are taller than when I last saw him. But that
Yeah,
was,
he was
almost 100 years ago.
Like, I get down past the bed, like,
I
on
mean,
the
your brother is
yeah, hi.
your brother is somewhat older than you.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's still quite some time, and he was never on the larger side of things.
No, but then again, was I, would you say? I wouldn't say so, I always felt tiny.
Well, you were never around other kids much, at least not during your later years, from what I've heard. But you were certainly a big birth, you were quite large.
Big head.
Big everything in general.
Yeah.
I mean, look at you. I think you're taller than any of your ancestors. From my family, anyway.
Oh.
Must have taken all of that from your father.
Maybe.
Because I know I, for sure, is not the tallest person around.
No. Yeah, no. But you know, Dad was tall.
Your father was quite the man. After that point, the conversation just kind of keeps going.
Yeah.
It flows naturally. After a couple hours or so, the tattoo on your leg is done, because that one required quite a bit more work than the one on
it
your
required
arm.
fixing.
But it's there, and now it kind of has this sort of shimmer to it, and it looks like an actual snake wrapped around your leg.
Yes. That looks cool. I think the rest of them should be all right. Because although they're quite old, they're like not too bad. Because this one was the one I did last. And then this one, although it was done with a mirror, it doesn't look too bad, does it?
No, not really.
No.
Of course, I mean, all of them could use a lot more work, but I'd rather you did them. So,
Okay.
how about we start that?
Okay. Do you want me to try the thigh first? Because I do like that one. I thought it was quite good. It was the bull. The raging
I
bull
feel
on the thigh.
you should learn a bit more of the theory first. How the actual
Okay.
thing works.
Okay. Yep. I'll be done.
And just like that, she sort of starts explaining. She starts guiding you through the steps of actually getting the ink through the wire, getting it into the needle, getting everything proper. And actually, by the time she sort of like looks, like, sees how late it is, it's probably getting close to like past midnight.
Yes.
You guys have been talking just for that long. Look at the time. Been quite the day, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it has been. It's been a long day.
Well, the people that were out today should be returning relatively soon, and I have to file for those reports, and you need rest.
Yeah. You do too. So after you're done with those reports, go to bed.
Don't worry, I can take care of myself.
Go to bed.
That's my line. Off you go.
Okay. Good night, Mum.
Good night, dear.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead to bed.
And
Before I do so, I'm going to take off all of my weapons.
yep,
Place them down in the drawer. Take off my armor. Go to bed.
go to bed. And the next couple days.
Oh
or
wait,
so-
sorry. I'm gonna get some of the salve or balm or whatever and just
Yeah,
gonna rub
just-
it. Take care of
Take
my
care of your
tattoo.
tattoos.
Take care of your tattoos, everyone.
Take care of your tattoos. If not, they're nasty. They get infected
Yeah.
all over the place. Not that I know. I don't have any. You do though.
No, I don't have any
Oh,
right
you
now.
don't?
Nope. I'm going to get some.
We
I
don't
don't-
know shit, yet we talk about it.
I know enough about it to
Yeah.
get some.
I mean, being as a thing.
Yeah.
Google shit, people. Google is powerful.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, you go to bed, and as you hit the hay and sort of go into this sort of soft, mellow trance that it's a nice feeling. You've gone to bed with a very nice feeling because you just spent a decent chunk of your day just bonding with your mom, and that's something you hadn't never done, and it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels very good.
Yeah.
And you sort of have fallen into this mellow trance. We are going to take a break
Woo!
right there and then. So yeah,
Yeah. You gotta end the recording.
I know. It's like, well, that's gonna be the break, and we'll be back in a bit. Although, I mean, probably for you guys, it's going to be like just like that,
Yeah.
because editing
Because the power of lunch
through the
breaks.
power of lunch breaks and editing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back soon, and yeah, that.
We'll be back real
I
soon.
never know what to say in these things.
Bye.
Bio. And welcome back.
Yeah,
That was the
well,
break,
Yeah.
which was absolutely a functional break.
Yeah, it was definitely a break that we had.
So yeah, as You come back right before the break. Kai had a long, wholesome conversation with her mother.
Wholesome family outings.
Wholesome family tattoo session.
Fucking finally some wholesome family shit. With
Instead
Kai.
of, you know, some
so long.
nasty shenanigans.
It's so long.
But yeah, and as Kai went to bed and got this nice mellow trance going, thanks to having spent some nice wholesome time with her mother, she awakes, and lest you wish to do anything specific, the next couple days go by.
I don't have anything planned. I'm gonna
sort of
learn tattooing from my mum, and maybe I might hint towards, you know, the getting things out of me thing. But if she doesn't if she doesn't offer, I'm not gonna push it.
Yeah. Next couple days or so, she just spends the time with her. Every now and again, she has to leave to do a bit of work around the sanctuary because she is the second in command right now, and the deputy, the de facto commander of the outpost. But most of the time, you just spend it with her. Yeah. She teaches you some tattoo. She sort of gets you to lie down with your head on her lap and get you to talk. Yeah. And eventually, after those couple of days, it's been long enough for you to not need the hand, the little lock on your hand. The brace, and she just takes it off. Still a bit rickety, still a bit. It's obviously weak.
It's clicking.
Since you had 10 days of not using it at all. Yeah. But it's certainly healed. You don't. It's a bit stiff. Yeah. Seems to be healing quite nicely, actually.
Yeah, it's a bit stiff. But it should be alright.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that you've got both functioning hands, how about you try some simple tattoos?
Yes, please. I've been meaning to do something with this.
Tattooing on yourself is a bit difficult, so how about we start tattooing someone else? It's far easier.
Someone who's willing to do it.
Just looking at her.
Oh.
Don't worry, it's something simple.
Okay. What do you want?
Stylized bow and arrow, the back of my head. She just puts her hand towards you.
Okay. How stylized we thinking?
Just a silhouette, basically.
Silhouette.
Nothing too precise.
I'm gonna get sketching that down.
Yeah. Then give me, first of all, this would be to come up with the design and draw it. It'd be intelligent, all in all, because it's thinking. It's thinking about what design to make.
Trust me, as someone who's an artist, it's not thinking. It is pure instinct, and it's more instinct.
Make it wisdom.
Yeah, it's more muscle memory than anything else.
Forgivens for all my wrong rulings. I don't see it. If there's a DM screen in the way, give me a number.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Which doesn't take too long. You sort of get this sort of nice recurve bow kind of going with the tips kind of expanding a bit, and the straight string between the two, and the arrow just crossed over it. Very nice. Very nice for your first attempt.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Right.
And she just gives you her hand.
I'm gonna get straight into it.
Remember, don't press too hard.
Yeah.
Don't use too much ink.
I know. I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah, and for this it'd be a tattooer's kit check, which would be Dex plus proficiency.
Yeah. Oh! Dex plus proficiency?
Yep.
Would be 26.
26. Yep. You should have remember all the times you tattooed yourself and add that onto all the experience and knowledge your mother has just given you, and you quickly start doing. And then this probably barely takes an hour and a half to just get the whole design. Your mother. Wow, that was fast. Actually, the first time I did it properly. I mean, you might just have this in you after all.
Yeah, I had the practice. So.
No, wouldn't call all of those practice. More like blind attempts, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. You do like it though, right?
Absolutely, it's gorgeous.
Mm.
You know, these past couple of days have been amazing.
It's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
It won't make up for 100 years of me not being there,
It's fine.
but it really has healed my heart a bit.
Good. Good.
To know you've grown up into such a capable, strong, protective woman.
I'm glad it's helped you.
You know, there's a bit for sure, but your father always did prefer the bow and arrow to the sword.
Did he?
Well, at least he did while we were dating, not married. After his father died and him and his brother kind of moved on to the positions of leadership in the Royal Guard, he sort of gave it up, decided that the sword was the better path. Kept it going, but he always had a knack for the bow. I once saw him split an apple straight through the center while it was falling from the tree. The
That's
apple
pretty impressive.
just fell without any warning and he split it perfectly in half.
That's pretty cool.
Never seen a better bowman in my whole life.
Oh.
That's counting the captain.
Oh.
Don't get me wrong. His skills with the bow are beyond anything that should be human. But your father just had a certain flourish to him.
I didn't have an awful lot of training with bow. Not an awful lot.
But maybe you could try. Maybe you have a knack for it as well.
Maybe. I don't know, I've always... I mean, I had my crossbow, and that was...
Not truly the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
In
It was
my
just
opi-
handy to have in your hand.
In my opinion, crossbows are bows for lazy people. No offense to you, it was what you had at hand, but someone who chooses a crossbow over a bow, in my opinion, is just being lazy. Looking for an easy out.
Well, I mean, I've been meaning to try, because my hand's a bit stiff, I've been meaning to get back into training it anyway.
I feel you should leave that be until the captain comes back.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you're not going to really lose anything, and it's better if you don't force your body. We've extracted a decent part of the curse already, and we don't really know how it will react. I'd rather have her around. She's a bit more knowledgeable in all of this.
Okay, even like just going down there and testing things out with a bow would be a bit much, do you think?
Well, I don't think a couple test shots will be bad.
Alright. I can give it a shot. I did very well using a gun once.
Using a what?
It's a boomstick. You put that, it's like a small metal thing with like a barrel and a chamber, and you put bullets inside of it, and they're like these small metal casings, and you put it inside of it, and use a lot of gunpowder, and it explodes.
It explodes.
Yeah, it explodes outwards, and it fires the bullet, and it goes through things. It's very impressive.
Certainly sounds powerful.
Yeah, I used it. It was really good. I did better than the guy that had it.
Well, that goes to show maybe your true calling is using your skills and dexterity and attacking at distance.
No. No.
It was worth a try.
No, I'm good at it, but I'm not that good. And no, I just like being. There's something good about being up front in someone's face. Be able to. I know it's a bit macabre, but to see them know that you're there, to see like the recognition of everything they've ever done to you in their eyes when you're right there. Something great about that.
Your father felt the same way. Well, what are we waiting for then?
Yeah, that sounds good. I could try it, certainly.
And she sort of just gets up. You guys have been mostly sort of staying in her room
Yeah.
for this past couple days. as you sort of just guides you to the courtyard. At this point, there are a couple other people. They're mostly young, kind of foot soldiers of the order. A couple of them are practicing with the bow. You see, they're pretty good at it. They hit the target every time. A lot of them in the new center area. A couple of them get bullseyes. And your mother just sort of goes to the side and picks out a short bow and a case of arrows. She brings them over.
Now, don't expect me to be any good at this.
Oh, don't worry. I picked a smaller one, just less drawing power needed.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not the drawing power that's the issue.
It's
the aim.
Make sure you don't have to strain yourself too much.
I suppose.
So you just she sort of puts you stands you properly in front of the target, sort of corrects your pose a bit since when you first draw, and just give me an attack roll with you've got proficiency in this because you're technically a fighter.
Yep. Oh my, that is plus proficiency.
Yep, dex and proficiency.
Dex and another 26.
26. Sort of take this deep breath, and it's weird. It does to a certain extent come almost naturally to you, but about as natural as it comes to swing a blade.
Yeah.
And you fire, and it punches straight through the center. Well, you might prefer blades, but just that has been more effective than every attempt you've made at fending off the captain.
I mean, but that one's not moving.
Do you want to try and move him?
Sure.
Sure.
Be easier. Get a rough idea.
She sort of goes over to this, seems to be a small kind of mechanism, and she just pulls a lever, and what seems to be just a cycle of moving targets starts out along the wall. Just
I will take an attack roll.
give me another shot. Draw, you pull.
Yeah.
Better remember the stance your mother just put you in.
Yeah. It's a 3 plus 7 is 10.
10. Boink! It hits the wall behind the targets.
And I'll take another one. Why not? Because it's
Come on,
practice.
sweetie, you can do it.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's another 7.
Another 7.
Yeah, I got a 3 on one dice and then a 3 on the other.
Wow. Boom. Boom. That hits the wall again.
Beginner's luck. I told you it's the moving
There's
target.
no such thing as beginner's luck.
I'm gonna take another one.
Take another shot.
Just as I'm having casual banter with her.
Third time's a charm.
On nat 20.
You fire, and this time it does hit one of the moving targets. Not in the center, but pretty close. It's sort of the inner ring, and just sort of flops against the wall and just keeps going.
Yeah, I'm gonna take another one.
See, you can do it.
And that one's a 19.
19. You fire again. You hit the target.
See, it's not as good. I'll take 2 more and call it a day.
Sure.
One of them's an 11, and the other one's a 17.
The 11 bounces off the wall, and that time you sort of look up and you fire, and it seems to be going off, but then sort of hits the arrow that just bounced off.
Oh, Robin Hood style.
Curves slightly, goes straight into the target.
Robin Hood style. Right.
Did you do that on purpose?
I don't know. Baby, I don't know.
I'm gonna go with no.
No.
Because you weren't aiming
No,
there.
I wasn't aiming there.
Or not on purpose anyway. Maybe it is luck, but I don't believe in luck. I'd like to believe it's instinct.
Well, maybe it is.
And as she's about to say something else, you hear from the top of the keep this loud tum 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 as someone is ringing the bell, and she immediately goes serious face. Okay, that is the alarm bell, and you see everyone around you starts scrambling.
All right. So fuck.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. I haven't actually heard one of those except in know.
Training.
Yes,
Yeah.
training.
Yeah.
But you sort of see that the gates are open, and you see what seems to be a decent troop of people carrying someone in. And you see someone carrying someone in, and they sort of like, your mother sort of, wait here, and she sort of runs over. You see her sort of speak to the people. She walks back to you. It's the captain. She is not in the best state right now. Apparently they were ambushed. They knew they were coming.
As she is talking, I'm gonna look out the door to see if there's anyone coming in after her, like with the door open. No.
You look around, all the doors slowly close, and your mother sort of like walks over to the sort of small group of people that have separated. You see a couple of people in robes kind of run out from the keep and start. You assume applying healing magic onto the captain's body.
Yeah.
What happened, you two? They were expecting us. They had an ambush prepared. The captain took the brunt of it to let us escape. We barely managed to make it out. He was at the front with her. You see someone in sort of long, kind of flowy, pretty decorated robes step forward. Brian, could you please come into view and describe what he looks like currently?
Oh, yo! What a boy!
Yes, indeed.
So for all your information, all that random background shit, like the thumps and shit, that was me trying to act cool. Not
Act natural.
Everyone, this is Brian, another member of the main group.
This is Linlith.
This
Yeah.
is Linlith, the druid.
Who
Listen,
did the magic.
there's more story to that.
There's
Get
a lot
into
more
that.
story.
There's more to that. There was a reason. She's a...
Bitch.
Excuse me.
But yes, Brian over here initially played Blinky the Warlock, who lasted one session before fucking off.
Yeah.
Then played Zay,
Zay. They're one
Cleric Rogue.
The Kai's no drow. Zay
One drow. A half drow rogue
Well, no,
that
full drow.
also had
Full drow.
full drow rogue that had some cleric in them as well, who then died to the fungus among us due to an infection of demonic fungi caused by the demon lord of fungi and rot Zuktmoy and her servants.
And then Linlith came
And then
along.
Linlith came along, the tiefling druid of spores that saved one of the previous members of the party from dying of the same infection.
And left Kai to die because she told her to.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can't blame it on Linlith.
I'm not.
And after Linlith kind of went on and did her own thing with another member of the group, Alazeus, the high wizard elf, the high elf wizard, high wizard elf. What the hell is wrong with me?
Hi, wizard elf.
High wizard elf.
I mean, to be fair, what?
Yeah, indeed, he's a very high wizard.
Linlith did give him the mushroom.
The mushroom, yeah.
The mushroom. And
Our party drug dealer, Linlith.
Yeah, Linlith, the spore druid with the apparent capacity to create a shroom.
yes.
Yeah.
Hallucinogenic shroom.
So, describe your boy.
Describe what's
My
your
boy
current
wanders in. You said what kind of robes?
Sort of kind of long, the typical wizard robes you'd
The
have you wear in
wizard
battle.
robes are just kind of like they're good, but they're not camp. They're kind of like when you iron you're good shirt, but you're not bothered to iron it.
Yes.
It's just kind of crumpled, like left open,
perfect.
and he's kind of just looking around and everything, just taking everything. He's got long hair, but it's tied up in like a top knot sort of deal.
Yeah.
Just take it in the environment. It's autumn, Eladrin
Oh.
currently, and they kind of have the book under their arm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
And you sort of
Oh, good.
you get called over by one of your superiors, one of the leaders of this operation. You were on together with the captain. You'd been on this thing for quite a while, like I told you. And now you sort of step out and you talk to who you know to be the captain's right hand, the lieutenant, and you see Kai. And for reasons known, how do you react to that?
Hi, I'm Leif.
Hi, I'm Kai.
Nice to
Hello.
meet you.
It's good to meet
You've
you.
been heard some things about you.
Have you?
Yeah.
Why?
I work
Anyway,
here.
oh right, okay, that doesn't really matter. Tell mum.
Yes, please. What happened? It's you sort of relay the quick report. Sort of for lack of preparation on that. It was my bad. It was kind of an
This
ambush.
guy with a
Suddenly,
sword, it was like kind of flashy. You know, there's some moves.
a few of the Winter's Mask assassins showed up, aided by some hag artillery.
Oh, fucking hags
And
again.
there was a lot of fire. There was a lot of calling. The captain calling attention to herself to stop it.
This was his toe.
Huh?
He got. This was its toe.
I don't need that.
Yeah.
Where did it happen? Were they following you?
Were they?
Were they following?
You don't remember them following you, and you know for a fact that the wards around this place impede people from getting to it unless they're guided to it. So, but you don't know.
They got to the They got to the wards, but didn't pass it. I think they following us. I'm not sure.
Fair enough.
There's one really ugly hag though.
Well, that's what hacks tend to be.
Kind of
The
breathing.
cold-
Yeah,
More
they're
so.
all kind of like
They're
that.
they're called ugly faith for a reason.
Yeah.
She's kind
Now
of,
she sort of points to
she's
sort of
Agnes, I think
a
her
different
name is.
group of Eladrin. All of you with me now. And she walks into Kai. Stay here. Walks off. Now you're both sort of left standing there with what you assume to be the. Now you look and you see the not sort of just lying on the ground, pretty badly beat up and burnt figure of the captain,
Oh, Jesus.
and a few clerics, or you should be clerics, someone channeling healing energy into her.
I'm gonna walk over to them and just kind of walking past this person here, just going straight to the captain. Just how's she looking? Like to one of the clerics.
Well, her burns are bad and she isn't regaining consciousness, but
I think that yeah, that is.
and she I just constantly just channeling healing energy into her. But I've seen her get out of worse and still walk out.
Okay.
But for now, we need to get her over to the infirmary.
Kind of wanders over and then pulls up her leg and then points out a half-broken arrowhead in her thigh. Just
Oh, okay. Please let us handle it. And she sort of pulls out the half-broken arrow.
it's in her.
Well, thankfully she's unconscious, so she won't beat me up for it. But
Sounds a good sign.
anyway, come on, you two. She sort of signals to the other two clerics, and they sort of like prop her up and start taking her to the infirmary. And now you guys are left outside in this courtyard. A couple of people are left kind of murmuring.
The
A couple
one,
of the other foot soldiers.
the one day I leave my sword behind.
So how you been? It's
Fine. Fine. I just got here. I didn't see you around.
No. We're out on a mission and came back. Yeah.
Yeah, you came back and now the captain's not looking so hot,
No.
is she?
I mean, she looks hot in general, but not like that. No, I get one.
Alright.
Quote. And also, Kai, how about you give me a quick insight check?
Okay, good. I'm good
yeah.
at that.
There's slight overlap with some features.
Oh, natural one!
Natural
Nah,
one.
you never met this guy in your life.
This person
So
has
weird
just,
elf!
It's pretty weird enough. They just came up and started talking to you. There's something oddly familiar about just how they look, but you could easily get that with any other elf.
Yeah.
You, however, do know who she is.
I
Yeah. Are there any guards on top of the...
And now you sort of look up and you see a few guards start spreading themselves out. And you see ahead of them is your mother, now in battle gear with this massive great bow slung across her back. She like focuses. Guardians of Stone, defend this palace, and you hear this massive rumbling as something very big and heavy. You've seen this before. You know there's if someone of the highest ranking officer and current ranking officer in the sanctuary utters those words, the stone golems that are embedded into the outside wall of the keep just step out and get ready to defend the city.
Charlize.
You don't see
I
this.
don't think the ruddy rocks. It's got like gold and it'll handle that one.
Okay.
No, they're all on the outside of the wall.
Yeah, no, I'm pointing over the road. I was like, it's really pat on his legs. Quite cute, isn't it?
Are you sexually attracted to golems?
I made a fucking golem. I'm proud of myself. Look at it. I'm sorry. I'm trying it.
No, it's fine. It looks good. It looks
Thank you very
cute.
much.
You did a very good job.
Thank you very much.
Like, Kai is currently like, why the fuck did my mum leave me with this mad person?
Because I think your mom sort of seems to be looking at something, turns back to look at the both of you. So like just looks at you, smiles ever so slightly, looks at you, and you see her give this just this look of like, and just turns back and keeps looking outside.
I'm gonna go get my sword and I'm gonna walk off.
You know, I think.
No, I'm already away from him.
I'm gonna like.
Are you following her?
Yeah, because Kai,
Yes.
yeah,
What?
how,
What?
I just dropped this guy's shelf.
Okay. Is it like? What is
Very
it?
drastic change. Very familiar looking.
Now, Kai, you are looking at what is essentially a male Leanna.
What do you mean?
What the fuck?
I know.
For the sake of, I believe it, you've heard it before, but for the sake of whoever's watching, Kai believes she killed Lyanna by splitting her shoulder to waist. So, you know.
She's gonna cry. She's just gonna cry. She's gonna fall down on her knees and she's gonna cry.
Just trying to stop now, like.
Fuck. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
I'm so sorry.
It's when you guys are sort of like lying on the, like sort of like kneeling on the ground, and a group of people just sort of like marched past you towards.
Right. I have to go get my stuff. And you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You're not a figment of my imagination, yeah.
Is that imaginary?
Oh,
Is that
okay.
imaginary?
No, it's not. Right, I need to go get my stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go do that.
So if you run over to, you're sort of sitting there in this central kind of cathedral area with this massive statue of Titania. So look up to it. You grab your sword as you're sort of like strapping the sheath back onto you. You hear this massive just impact as the window in your room just shatters outward. You cover yourself.
Yeah, I take out the 7 Seasons. Yeah,
Gleaming.
I imagine so.
Gleaming brightly. Sort of look outside and you sort of hear your mother yell, "Draw!" When you see all the archers on the wall just draw weapons. Just draw bows.
My window from what side shattered?
It's
the courtyard side.
from the outside in.
Outside in, yeah.
Yeah.
But from
And you
what
sort of hear this
direction
smash,
does...
and the whole keep kind of just shook.
I'm gonna
From this, look.
I'm gonna run downstairs and head straight towards the gates. I'm gonna resheath the sword and take a couple of steps back and also draw my bow.
From the window.
Training bow.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the. Well, no, I'm gonna run downstairs.
Yeah.
Into the courtyard.
I'm gonna be up in the courtyard.
You're sort of run past Lyanna.
Can I make a perception check for can he look for any guys that are
sure.
bad? I guess. Not with a 4.
Not even in the courtyard. In the courtyard, you only see people like soldiers that have actually went out, scrambled, got their weapons. You see, the first couple rows are just warriors, sword, shield in hand, chainmail, breastplate, kind of a mixed match of armors, just ready in case something breaks through the door. Sort of look through the gate, and outside the gates, you see the 4 massive stone golems that you now notice are made to be in the shape of an elf with like wearing like full plate armor with a shield and with a sword.
On one of them.
One of the thighs.
One of the size.
Yeah. Sort of there's 2 male and 2 female. You see your mother kind of from all the people she just yells fire, and the arrows just fly from both the courtyard and the wall. And you hear a couple like muffled like ah from the other side. They think they can take this place from us. Let's show them how wrong they are for defying the Queen of Summer. And she just crawls again, and the arrows just keep flying and flying.
Yeah, I'm down in the courtyard right now.
I can actually leave there, by the way. Check times.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to. Yeah, no, I'm gonna climb up onto the wall.
You
And
climb up
kinda,
to the wall.
I'm gonna help out with.
I'm going to
with the volleys.
hold a spell, not so I burn a spell slot heavy, but like holding an acid arrow.
Yeah. And you sort of go through and you kind of run up and just stand next to your mother. It's this massive bow, probably like just twice the size of yours and easily higher than her.
Yeah.
And she fires. What are you doing up here?
I'm helping.
You're not trained in formations. You're not trained in something heavy impacts the wall and it kind of shakes. And you shoot a look out and you see one of the golems just crumbles to the ground.
Yeah, but I'm trained in war and this is war.
This is not the same kind of war. Golems can handle it outside. We're only providing support.
And I'm only helping you.
Don't want to say, but we don't really need your help right now. We need you down there making sure you're safe.
I'm fine up here.
Hi, honey. I'm your mother. Do not disobey me. Go down to the courtyard.
If I go down to the courtyard, then I'm just gonna help them down there.
At least you'll be safe. And you throw. Now you look down and a figure, something crumples onto the ground as she hits, and she impacts it with her bow.
And I'm gonna fire off an acid arrow and kill it.
You fire. And it just hit you. You sort of see this little blotch of acid just fly over you, and the guy that was kind of like a ghoul that was just running forward just get hit straight in the face and just crumples.
Fine.
Get down there.
Fine. I'm gonna get down.
Cool. As you sort of like just running down, you hear and sort of feel the heat of this massive explosion just coming straight from behind you.
Yep.
Is that?
And you sort of look back and you see like a decent chunk of the wall. The chunk of the wall where your mother was standing has just been blown inwards. Fuck.
I'm taking out the 7 seasons.
Find the artillery! Take them out! People just scrambling, shouting. Now you saw the explosion. Something massive, something bigger than a fire.
Would it be magical, or would it just?
Yes, it would be magical.
Could I?
But you didn't see where it was coming from.
Okay.
And you sort of saw Kayane's mother just fall into the courtyard amongst a pile of rubble.
I'm gonna go straight towards her mother.
Yeah, if she fell, I would have attempted to grab her.
Oh no, you had like moved away like 20-25 feet away from her before the explosion happened.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna run over to her.
Okay.
You see, she's still breathing, but she's unconscious.
I'm gonna try and help move her, doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab her.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna take her over to. Where's the clerics run off with her?
Yeah, the clerics with the captures just went into the actual building.
So how's the courtyard's destroyed?
No, it's only the top. The part of the wall that is just above the gate got blown inwards.
Okay, I'm going to anyone that seems to be like not rushing about, just like, whoever knows where the cleric's bay is, get my mother to her now! Like, just...
Sure, give me a quick general persuasion.
Can it be intimidation?
Yeah.
I'm
sure.
a beret.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, that's a 10 total.
10. Yeah. She's sort of two soldiers kind of like just sort of everyone's kind of like looking at you as you're yelling, and two like a couple of them just stand at attention real quick and just scramble near you.
Yep.
And they just drag her in.
Yep, I'm gonna through the what was the hole look like? It's like just above the door, yeah.
Yeah, so just above the door, and the top of the gate is kind of now sort of like it's melted and sort of bended inward slightly.
Right.
Now, another impact hits the wall, and you see a couple of people just fly off. A couple of Wilhelms die. I can't play that because
Fire another couple magic missiles into there.
Very tempted to do
Where are they coming from? Just people just keep firing
I was
arrows.
firing just
Yeah.
cantrips, stuff cantrips in there.
Could I attempt to look over to the wall to see like if there's someone that seems to be like letting them in, if there's like a portal somewhere that people seem to let
Are you going to go up and over the wall?
I'm just gonna look.
I mean, the wall is like something you have to like go upstairs to see.
Yes, I'm going to go up the wall.
And you can look, you can peek over the battlement
Yeah,
and stuff. So you
yeah,
peek-
that's what I meant. I'm gonna peek over the balcony.
You start looking at it and you see it's indistinct kind of figures off in the distance just fighting the golems. The golems are just smashing them into the ground. You do notice there's a few figures you recognize, ghouls, zombies, undead of various various kinds. Give me a perception check.
Yeah. Ugh, poor. 12.
12. Okay, yeah, at 12 you catch sight of a few figures kind of in the distance. They don't seem to be firing off spells, they seem to be just watching. Can't really make them out aside from humanoids standing upright, kind of just on the edge of the battlefield.
How far away do they look?
Probably a good 100, 200 feet.
How big is the army at the gates?
A bit hard to tell, but the golems don't seem to be having a hard time fending them off.
Okay.
So at this point you hear down in the courtyard, open the gates, we'll meet them directly! And you sort of hear the gates kind of like, very like heavily, not as like smoothly as they opened when you first came in. Because this time there's people actually pushing them open.
Okay.
And that's you being on top of the wall.
I am going to get as close as I can to have them like directly in front of me. I'm going to run along the wall like until they're directly in front of me, and I'm going to remember a lesson that my dad taught me about using my face step in times of stress, and I am going to jump myself off the wall and land. How high is the wall?
A good like 30 feet.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna jump off of it, use my face step to appear 20 feet beyond that, to try it like behind a tree or something. I'm gonna go after them, after those guys in the distance, but I want to try and do it as stealthily as possible.
Cool.
See Kai do this?
Yeah, you're down. She's just like ready herself and attempt, and she's going to jump.
Kai,
up.
don't!
Then you're down in the courtyard.
Yeah.
She's up there. You can try and yell if you want.
Yeah, I do so.
You hear this. You sort of pause for a moment, readying yourself to jump.
Don't die.
The gates. At that point, you pause for that instant, and the gates, as they're flowing in, this massive blast just hits the gates, and you're being pushed outward. But now they're blown inward. You are just far enough to just feel the draft from it, but not get hit by the impact.
I'm gonna skedaddle. Is there like any cover?
Yeah, there's enough kind of like sizable rubble to serve as cover, and you hear this voice saying, "They've broken through! They've broken through! Golems are still out there! What
I'm
the?"
going to fire a lightning bolt directly through.
Mark off that spell, sir, because that is a very powerful spell.
I'm aware, and try and do as much damage, like angle it
I
so
know.
that as much damage as possible.
Cool. What's your safety, see?
And I'm going to use a bonus action. She said to up that to a 17 from a 15. Can I do that, or is it too late?
How?
The theurgy. You get two options: the channel divinity from the
Yes.
top class, and you get another one where you add +2.
You
to your
have to.
spells.
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes this time, but next time I'm gonna check
Fair
if
enough.
it actually works like that.
Yeah, as a bonus action.
If it does say as a bonus action, then you have to do it before the spell. So
Cool.
no.
Then
Anyway,
15.
what 15? Yeah, cool. One of the people it hits passed, the other two didn't. Roll me damage.
4.
No.
Pretty decent.
4. 28.
28 damage. You sort of channel this energy and just fire it through your hand as you mutter these arcane words.
And
And
I like
you
starts the fingers a bit.
you see 2 impacts, or 3 impacts, but one of them seems to just punch through. And whoever this is kind of stumbles back, but keeps walking. The other 2 just crumple to the ground. And at this point, you're sort of like looking down at this, and the cloud of dust kind of fades away, and you see standing there is a figure that is familiar to you, but it's not quite the same. You see this tight, black leather, deep purple skin, a very high ponytail of white hair, and a scourge in hand. You see what you recognize to be a drow priestess of very high class, just step out of the dust, and behind her it seems to be a good probably dozen or so other drow just kind of fanning out around her.
As soon as I see her, does she appear to have seen me up here yet, or not?
She knows there's people on the wall, if that's what you're asking, because people on the wall kind of like look down, but something hits from the outside, they take cover and they keep firing. The people on the wall just yell down, take them out down there, we have to deal with the outside!
Yeah, I'm face stepping down there, right behind her.
Yeah, give me that.
I'm taking 2 shots from the
Sure,
fucking
give me-
7 seasons.
Give me 2 strikes.
The first one is oh, I should have said, no, I used my bonus action to face step down there. I couldn't have raged. Anyway, the first one probably doesn't hit. That's a 13. Probably doesn't hit.
Yeah.
And then the next one after that is a 25.
Cool.
With the 7 seasons.
The 13 just slam goes wide, should have miscalculated and hit behind her, and the whoosh kind of just makes her turn around ever so slightly. You bring it down, and you hear this sharp "Ting" as someone behind her that wasn't there half an instant ago is using this very strange kind of, it's straight right up to the hilt, but then it curves very, almost forming a whole semicircle of the blade, just catching yours in it. Don't think so, dear.
Anyway,
Pushes you back,
with my,
and you're sort of like almost facing off against this very tall, bigger than you kind of sort of drow who's looking down at you. Energy starts holding into her hand, and just like that, we're going to end the session there. Counterspell will go through next time.
Okay.
But no, we're going to end the session there.
why?
Because I feel it's a nice, interesting point, and we can start with the battle next session. Sorry you didn't get that long to get in, Brian. But now we've got you in, and now you're going to be here every game. Yay!
Next week.
Try.
Next week.
But yeah, that has been the end of Monica's Manic Misadventures episode, I want to say 5.
It's, no.
4 indeed. My god, I can't even remember
Four.
how often we're recording anymore.
4.
4 indeed.
Yeah.
And let's have a grand welcome for Brian. Yay! Brian's here now. We've been planning to bring him in for a while, we just didn't find the chance, and I had my story purpose thought out, and now it's kind of one a bit awry,
Yay!
but it works. Kai has re-encountered with her mother,
It's a bit of an
and with her lost,
It's a bit awkward, but gonna work on it.
with her lost soulmate slash platonic lover
Excuse me.
slash best friend.
Listen, one of those is correct.
Which one though?
Best friend.
But yeah, no, it's been fun.
Yeah.
Been a fun little session. Been a fun little day.
I've enjoyed it.
Yep. And just like that, we will return with more, better, and more again, because I'm nothing if not redundant,
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah.
And so just like that, toodaloo!
Bye.
Bye!